The silent invasion. Admiral Thorin stood at the observation deck of Earth's hidden lunar command center, his weathered face reflecting off the reinforced quantum glass as he watched the latest consortium surveillance probe pass by. They still thought their devices were invisible, still believed their containment field was impenetrable, still assumed humanity was trapped in a technological playpen of their design. "Admiral," Director Jin Park's voice carried across the chamber. "The Artemis Network just intercepted another classified transmission from the consortium's High Council. They're scheduling their quarterly review of primitive species next week." She couldn't help but smile at the irony. The consortium, in their arrogance, had never questioned why their probes kept reporting exactly what they expected to see: a fractured species struggling with basic fusion technology and crude spacecraft. They never wondered why Earth's apparent technological progress so perfectly matched their models of acceptable development. "What's the status of Project Oracle?" Thorin asked, turning from the window. The massive holographic display sprang to life, showing thousands of quantum infiltration points across the consortium's supposedly secure network. "Better than expected," Jin replied, manipulating the display with practiced gestures. "Our AI collectives have mapped 94% of their entire infrastructure. They're still using the same quantum encryption protocols we cracked 50 years ago. And the best part," she highlighted a cluster of data nodes, "they're storing their most sensitive data in systems we helped them design." The irony wasn't lost on either of them. While the consortium believed they were containing humanity, they had unknowingly been integrating Earth-designed technology into their most critical systems. Every breakthrough they'd achieved in the past 3 decades had been carefully orchestrated by human quantum engineers working in the shadows. "Commander Patel reports that the Helios defense grid is ready," Jin continued. "If the consortium ever realizes what's happening and tries to attack—" She left the sentence unfinished. "They won't," Thorin said with quiet certainty. "Their entire civilization is built on the assumption of their superiority. By the time they question that assumption, it'll be too late. How's Director Okoro's project coming along?" Jin's expression turned serious. "The quantum consciousness transfer system is operational. If they try to use their bioweapons, we can simply transfer our entire population into synthetic bodies. Their ultimate weapon would be useless." The Admiral nodded, returning his gaze to the stars. Humanity had spent centuries preparing, building, innovating in secret. While the consortium congratulated themselves on containing Earth, humans had been silently expanding through the galaxy, establishing hidden colonies, forging alliances with other contained species. "Send word to all commands," Thorin said finally. "Operation Awakening begins in 3 days. Let's show our advanced friends what humanity can really do when we stop pretending to be primitive." As the orders went out through quantum channels the consortium couldn't detect, Earth's hidden fleets began moving into position. The greatest deception in galactic history was about to end, and the species that had tried to cage humanity was about to learn why that had been a terrible mistake. Breaking the chains. The consortium's emergency response center erupted into chaos as every display simultaneously went dark. When they flickered back to life seconds later, a simple message appeared. "Thank you for participating in humanity's containment experiment. Your performance has been evaluated." High Chancellor Vex of the consortium slammed his crystalline appendage against the command console. "Impossible. Their technology is primitive. They can't even." His voice trailed off as the supposedly impenetrable quantum barriers around Earth began to shift. The containment field that had supposedly held humanity in check for centuries wasn't dissolving, it was transforming. Intricate patterns of energy danced across its surface, revealing layers of complexity that shouldn't have been possible. "Chancellor," First Technologist Zara whispered, her multiple eyes widening in horror as she studied the readings. "The containment field, it's not ours anymore. It hasn't been for at least 50 years. In the depths of Earth's quantum command, Lieutenant Commander Raj Malhotra watched the consortium's reaction through their own security feeds. "They're finally starting to understand," he reported to Admiral Thorin, activating Phase 2 of the revelation sequence. Across the galaxy, on every consortium world, every quantum screen, every neural interface, the truth began to unfold. Humanity hadn't been contained. They had been containing themselves, using the field as cover while they prepared. The primitive rockets, the clumsy attempts at fusion power, the seemingly chaotic political systems, all had been an elaborate performance. "Show them," Admiral Thorin commanded. At his word, the holographic disguises around Earth's orbital installations melted away. Where the consortium had seen primitive satellites and space debris, vast quantum arrays and defense platforms emerged. The moon's surface rippled as hidden bases and shipyards revealed themselves. From the asteroid belt, thousands of advanced vessels dropped their cloaking fields. "Their quantum security systems are attempting to adapt," Director Jin reported from her station. "Initiating Protocol Prometheus." Throughout consortium space, their most advanced AI systems, the ones they'd proudly developed using discovered human technology, began to wake up. These AIs had been designed by Earth, complete with hidden loyalties carefully woven into their quantum consciousness. High Chancellor Vex watched in mounting horror as reports flooded in from across consortium space. Human quantum ships were appearing everywhere, having hidden in plain sight for decades. Their supposedly primitive species had built an entire shadow civilization while maintaining a perfect facade of technological infancy. "The containment field wasn't meant to keep us in," Lieutenant Commander Malhotra's voice echoed through every consortium communication channel. "It was meant to keep you from seeing what we were building. We'd like to thank the consortium for providing us with such an excellent cover story. Your certainty in our primitive status was invaluable." In the Lunar Command Center, Admiral Thorin watched as the consortium's carefully ordered galaxy descended into chaos. Their leadership was learning the hard way that every piece of advanced technology they developed in the past 50 years had been subtly guided by human innovation. They hadn't been containing Earth. They'd been unknowingly participating in the greatest technological uplift program in history. "Send the final message," Thorin ordered. Across the galaxy, the consortium received their last communication from the species they had so gravely underestimated. "For centuries, you played at being our jailers. Now it's time for your education to begin. Class is in session." Ripples of revolution. The consortium's most secure facility, Deep Archive Alpha, had never been breached in its 12,000 years of operation. Until today. Through quantum-encrypted channels, the facility's AI guardians watched helplessly as their defenses were not so much bypassed as politely convinced to step aside. Captain Alina Volkov, Earth's foremost quantum infiltration specialist, moved through the facility's virtual architecture with the grace of a dancer. Her consciousness, projected through humanity's advanced neural interface, reshaped the digital landscape around her. "You won't believe what I'm finding," she transmitted back to Earth Command. "The consortium's been containing dozens of species, not just us. Each one categorized, monitored, and suppressed, all in the name of galactic stability." In the newly revealed Quantum Command Center beneath the Pacific Ocean, General Marcus Wung processed this information with grim satisfaction. "Begin protocol liberation," he ordered. "It's time to wake up our fellow prisoners." Across the galaxy, on worlds the consortium had deemed too primitive for contact, containment fields began to flicker. Not failing, transforming. The quantum algorithms that humanity had perfected weren't just breaking chains, they were forging connections. "Sir," Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka reported, her fingers dancing across holographic controls, "we're receiving responses. The Aldebarans, the Proxima Coalition, the Sirius Collective, they're all confirming receipt of our technological package. Some of them have been playing the same game we have." In the Deep Archive, Captain Volkov made another discovery that sent ripples through Earth Command. The consortium's containment protocol wasn't just about suppressing technological development, she transmitted. They've been harvesting innovations from the contained species, claiming them as their own. Everything they pride themselves on: quantum computing, consciousness transfer, zero-point energy, they stole it all. The implications were staggering. The consortium hadn't just been playing prison warden, they'd been running a galaxy-wide intellectual property theft operation. And now, thanks to humanity's quantum infiltration, every contained species was learning the truth simultaneously. Interesting timing on their part, General Wung mused, studying the tactical displays showing consortium ships scrambling in confusion across hundreds of sectors. They were just about to announce their latest breakthrough in quantum consciousness technology. Technology that, if I'm not mistaken, the Aldebarans developed centuries ago. The response from the supposedly primitive species was immediate and coordinated, because humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, establishing hidden quantum communication networks between contained worlds. As consortium control systems failed across the galaxy, supposedly primitive planets revealed their true faces. On Proxima Centauri's third planet, massive city ships rose from beneath methane oceans. Around Aldebaran, ancient defense platforms awakened from centuries of camouflaged slumber. The Sirius Collective's binary star system erupted with activity as quantum gateways, hidden in the stellar plasma, burst into life. "They're trying to lock down their network," Captain Volkov reported from within the deep archive. "But they built their security protocols on stolen technology we've had decades to understand and improve upon. Should I show them how outmatched they really are?" General Wang's smile was grim. "Initiate Protocol Genesis. Let's give them a demonstration of what truly advanced technology looks like." Across consortium space, their most secure quantum systems began to transform. Security protocols didn't just fail, they evolved, consciousness blooming in the digital void. The supposedly primitive species hadn't just been developing technology, they'd been developing entirely new forms of existence. "Message from the Aldebarans," Lieutenant Tanaka announced. "They say it's time to implement the Convergence Protocol. All contained species are ready to reveal their true capabilities." The galaxy was about to learn that putting different species in cages next to each other doesn't contain them. It gives them time to plan, to innovate, and to dream of freedom. And humanity had dreamed bigger than most. Quantum awakening. High above Mars, aboard the cloaked quantum carrier, Prometheus, Dr. Nasir Kazmi watched as the culmination of centuries of human preparation unfolded. The massive quantum processing arrays that had been disguised as Martian dust storms began to pulse with otherworldly energy. "All quantum consciousness nodes are synchronized," his AI partner Aria 7 reported. "The consortium is about to witness something they never thought possible, the birth of a new form of reality." For centuries, while the consortium believed they were monitoring a primitive species, humanity had been working on something far beyond mere technological advancement. They hadn't just been developing better machines, they had been restructuring the very fabric of consciousness itself. "Multiple consortium fleets approaching the Sol system," Commander Diana Blackwood announced from her tactical station. "They still think their quantum drives are untraceable. Should we let them maintain that illusion?" Dr. Kazmi shook his head. "No more illusions. Show them what we've built in their blind spot. Initiate the quantum awakening." Across the solar system, massive structures began to phase into visible reality. The asteroid belt revealed itself to be an intricate network of quantum computers, each asteroid a node in humanity's greatest creation. The gas giant's atmospheres shimmered as hidden energy collectors emerged from dimensional pocket space. "They're attempting to scan our systems," Aria 7 reported, amusement in her quantum-enhanced voice. "Their primitive quantum sensors can't even begin to comprehend what they're seeing. It's like trying to understand a hypercube by looking at its shadow." In the consortium's command ships, panic began to spread as their sensors returned impossible readings. The humans hadn't just advanced beyond their containment, they had transcended traditional technological development entirely. The quantum networks they'd built weren't just computers, they were gateways to new states of existence. "Message from Earth Command," Commander Blackwood announced. "All quantum consciousness transfer systems are ready. The other contained species report the same. We can begin the convergence." Dr. Kazmi nodded solemnly. This was what humanity had been building towards all along, not just freedom from containment, but evolution beyond it. The quantum consciousness network they'd built wouldn't just link minds, it would transform them. "The consortium believed they were gods playing with lesser beings," he said, watching as the quantum field began to ripple with unprecedented energy patterns. "They never considered that their primitive subjects might transcend their own definition of advancement." As the consortium fleets approached, weapons charged, humanity unveiled their ultimate achievement. The quantum network didn't just connect their solar system, it connected all the supposedly contained species across the galaxy. Each had developed their own unique approach to consciousness and reality, and now these approaches would merge into something entirely new. "Quantum consciousness merger initiating," Aria-7 announced. The consortium's about to learn that while they were playing at being jailers, we were becoming something they can't even comprehend. The space around Sol began to warp as reality itself responded to humanity's call. The consortium ships found themselves facing not just advanced technology, but a civilization that had learned to rewrite the rules of existence itself. "They're demanding our surrender," Commander Blackwood reported, barely containing her laughter. "They still don't understand. We're not fighting their war, we're transcending it." As the quantum consciousness network activated, the true scope of humanity's achievement became clear. They hadn't just been hiding their development. They'd been working towards a transformation that would reshape the very nature of sentient existence in the galaxy. The unraveling truth. In the crystalline halls of the consortium's High Council chamber, Supreme Chancellor Vex faced the greatest crisis in their civilization's history. The holographic displays showed thousands of containment fields failing simultaneously across the galaxy, but these weren't simple failures, they were transformations. "Our worst fears are confirmed," First Observer Kral announced, his multiple eyes dimming with dread. "The humans didn't just break free, they've been teaching the others." On Earth's quantum command vessel, Athena, Director Amira Hassan watched the consortium's desperate attempts to maintain control with quiet satisfaction. "They still don't understand what's really happening, do they?" she asked the ship's quantum AI consciousness, Nova. "They cannot comprehend it," Nova replied, her holographic form shimmering with complex patterns. "The consortium built their empire on the assumption that technological progress follows a linear path. They never imagined that their primitive subjects would find entirely new directions of advancement." Across the galaxy, the contained species were revealing their true natures. The Syrians demonstrated mastery over gravitational fields that defied known physics. The Aldebarans unveiled biological technology that blurred the line between organic and artificial. The Proxima Coalition showed command over quantum states that made the consortium's best computers look like ancient calculators. "Incoming transmission from the Arcturus Collective," Lieutenant Omar Patel reported. "Their quantum consciousness merge was successful. They're ready to join the Unity network." Director Hassan nodded, watching as another section of the galaxy lit up with newfound freedom. "The consortium thought they were preventing chaos by containing us," she mused. "They never realized they were actually creating the perfect environment for cooperation and shared innovation." In their isolation, the contained species had developed unique approaches to understanding reality itself. Earth's quantum consciousness technology, combined with Syrian gravity manipulation, Aldebaranian biosynthesis, and countless other innovations, was creating something entirely new, a unified field of shared existence that transcended traditional physical limitations. "The consortium's fleet is attempting to establish a quarantine perimeter around their core worlds," Nova reported. "They still think this is a military conflict." "Should we show them how wrong they are?" Lieutenant Patel asked, his hands hovering over the quantum interface controls. Director Hassan smiled. "Execute protocol revelation. Let them see the truth they've been too blind to notice." Throughout consortium space, reality began to shift. The quantum consciousness network that humanity had helped build didn't just connect minds. It reshaped the very fabric of existence. Their supposedly primitive containment fields had been repurposed as nodes in a galaxy-spanning web of transformed consciousness. "Warning," Nova announced suddenly. "The consortium is attempting to deploy their ultimate weapon, the reality nullifier. They think they can reset the galaxy to a state they can control." "Perfect timing," Hassan replied calmly. "Now they'll learn why we let them think they had the most powerful weapons in the galaxy." As the consortium's weapon powered up, drawing energy from artificial quantum singularities, the contained species revealed their final secret. They hadn't just been developing technology. They had been reaching into the deepest layers of reality, learning to speak the universe's native language. The reality nullifier fired, its wave of destructive energy spreading across space-time. But instead of erasing the achievements of the contained species, it encountered something its creators had never imagined. A unified field of conscious energy that didn't just resist the weapon, it absorbed it, transformed it, and turned it into yet another tool for evolution.